Hi, I'm Dr. Francis Yahia, and I wanted to address some issues that come up in my spiritual immersion program. When people reach out to me about going on a spiritual journey, or they've discovered that there's this spiritual nature or intuitive nature to life, they're very much oftentimes enamored with the crystals, with energy healing, with Reiki, with spirit guides. But that is only one part, and it's usually sort of like the introduction to spirituality or this concept of seeking enlightenment. And so I wanted to address deeper stages in the process. There are 12 truths to a spiritual path, and you can watch my videos on the introduction to those 12 truths. They're found throughout any religion or philosophy that each aspirant goes through. Usually people are introduced to, whether it's meditation or yoga, this idea that there's something beyond, that there is a mystery or magic to this existence, and that we have access to this. That's truth 4, and it's the truth of intuition. However, your intuition is only as good as the quality of your thoughts. So when you connect to the spirit world, whether it's through Akashic records or pendulum or crystal or muscle testing, however it is that you've been introduced to this other space that exists, this other states of consciousness, that spirit world can only use what is in your thoughts. So what you know in terms of knowledge and application of learning materials, how the spirit world communicates to you, or your higher self communicates with you. So there is an importance of learning spiritual text or reading sacred literature so that you have a larger repertoire in which your spirit guides can connect to you. But most importantly, if you do not know the quality of your thoughts, if you do not know what you are thinking about yourself truly, then you really cannot reach enlightenment, and you're really not truly on the path as it's sort of intended in all spiritual philosophies. So I kind of wanted to break down in simple terms the 3 major stages of enlightenment. So if you're familiar with my work, you know that I use the metaphor of a snow globe, and that one of the things I do with clients is shatter snow globes. And snow globe is a metaphor for being asleep, for being veiled, for being unconscious, or letting your subconscious thoughts dictate your life without your awareness. So usually when we talk about people that are woke, or people that have discovered this otherworldliness to our nature, our higher consciousness, our divine being, what is happening is they've now shattered the snow globe. So the first stage is you're unaware. You don't even know that you're veiled. You don't know that your suffering is created by you, and that you're enjoying your suffering, that your suffering is your version of love. It's pain and it's linked to love. And another metaphor for the snow globe is the womb, which is where a lot of this happens. The subconscious development starts at conception, pregnancy, and then birth. So again, the metaphor of a snow globe, this is all you know to be true. And you think that this is the way the world works. You think your truth is the only truth. There just is a lack of awareness of other things. And so the biggest lack of awareness is of your lower nature. You truly do not know the level and extent of your animal nature, of your desirous nature, of your shadow, of the depths of your darkness. And we are very afraid to find this out. So if you think that suffering is created by others onto you, whether it's your parents or your partner or your boss, you are in this first stage of enlightenment, which is characterized as delusion, lack of awareness of your own lower nature, and enjoying your suffering. Usually, when we're introduced to this realm, higher nature, energy realm, crystals, Reiki, whatever it is that brought you into this understanding, there's a superficiality to universal laws like manifestation and vibration. And there's a lot of miseducation around this. This is usually when people reach me. And like I say, I shatter snow globes for a living. We take that superficial intuition or understanding of the planes of the universe, and these laws of manifestation or vibration. And we really, really clean out the snow globe. We really get deep into the realization of your own lower nature. This is called the shadow work. Of the 12 truths on a spiritual path, shadow work is truth 8. So you could see that there's a lot building up to a real clarity of understanding of one's lowest nature. It's not just hopping into shadow work. You're slowly, gradually introduced to who you really are. I call this the spiritual striptease. We look at your sphere of consciousness. We look at your lowest nature. We look at the illusion and delusion. We look at how you lie to yourself. We look at your gluttony, your pride, your deceit, your greed. And now you go into what my first book is called The 7 Gates, each of the 7 gates. With each step, we're down, down, down into the lowest nature of yourself. You start removing an article of clothing or an article of your veiled nature, of your delusional state. And in here, there is a need to mourn the life that you have lived, that you have previously lived based on choices that created suffering, that you were unaware of, that you bought into, and mourn the life that you no longer will have after this process. This is the bulk. This is oftentimes the hero's journey. This is the crux of spiritual education and the spiritual process. Sometimes we tiptoe around this area because it's very painful, and the metaphor of the glass can cut you. It's very difficult to really understand what you as a human being are capable of. Sometimes I'll tell clients, when you think you're not that bad, go deeper. Reality TV show, for instance. People love to watch reality TV show because they say, oh, well, my life's not that bad. So we want to really get cleaned out, if you will, and go deep, deep, deep into the depths of our subconscious. Understand the gamut of what we are capable of. Only through this process can we realize that we are exactly like every other human being. This is the connection of humanity. This is the connection of humanness. And without this level of darkness, the light cannot shine through. And it's been called the cave. It's been called the depths of the psyche. It's been called hell, the underworld. Reaching rock bottom to the depths of awareness of yourself, not that your life has to crumble. Oftentimes it does, as the metaphor kind of indicates. Then you can emerge back with the light shining through. So the third snow globe is now where you, with awareness, with consciousness, with a higher vibration, understand that in order to live in this world, you must be veiled. The lower consciousness, the lower nature, delusion, veiled, can never be eradicated. This is one of the falsities of the New Age tradition. You cannot be positive vibes only. You cannot be a light worker only. That is not accurate. Your human existence is an earthly existence, is a physical nature, is a lower animal nature. It is only when that earthly consciousness here with this snow globe merges with this snow globe, after having gone through this process of the unveiling or the spiritual striptease, do you build yourself back together. The difference is that I call this the kintsugi step. Kintsugi is a Japanese art form where a broken bowl is put back together and decorated with gold streaks, and it's actually prettier than it was before. It's through the beautification of the cracks that the art piece becomes art, the bowl becomes an art piece. And this is where you end up after this process with enlightenment. There's a Zen koan: chop wood, carry water, get enlightened, chop wood, carry water. A snow globe is a snow globe. The thing is that this one has glitter and gold and room to breathe, room for you to build the life that you actually want based on awareness, on integration, on higher consciousness. But you must put the snow globe back together. Humpty Dumpty cannot stay shattered. So this belief that you're going to be so exposed and open, and we see this with with the commentary about empaths and clairsentience and being open to everything. That is not a sustainable state. Just like the dark night of the soul or the unraveling of the ego dissolution and ego death, these are not sustainable states. You must put yourself back together. The difference is that now you are choosing what the cracks are going to represent. You're going to choose how you're going to show up in the world. What veil are you going to show up with? So when someone tells a story, you might know, you might hear, you might have an inkling of what they're saying, but you're going to hold the space for that person because you have really met humanity where we all meet, which is here in our lowest nature. So this concept of I raise a vibration and I'm not in the world, or I check out and I live in a monastery or an ashram, that is not reality. That is the antithesis of. So you decide now what your new reality will be within reason. Your reality must be supported through your lifestyle, your relationship, your family, your financial status. This concept of a high vibration without a low nature is impossible. Unified consciousness happens here. This is also only truth 9 of the entire spiritual path. So there is a whole section of the spiritual path, truth 10, 11, and 12, which is a daily renewal of choosing to enter the shadow, go back, and then rebuild. Enter your lower nature, identify it, and then rebuild. So here you're deciding your new reality. You're putting yourself back into a snow globe. It has room to breathe. It's kind of like the hermit crab finding its new shell. And despite your lower nature, choosing that you're not going to entertain the suffering, that you're not going to entertain your lowest thoughts, that you're actually going to have a beautiful reality that's reasonable within your limitations, despite your lowest nature. This is how we get enlightened. I will do a few videos on different resources to help you with this process. Thank you.